Hi, I'm Brian King, and this is 5 Things Friday. Today I want to talk about how to protect your marriage. When I'm at work, there are certain places that I go where it requires that you wear what we call full PPE, personal protective equipment, um, safety glasses, steel toe boots, a helmet, ear protection, and flame-resistant clothing. All of those things. And many times they feel like kind of a hassle, and a lot of people complain until they find like a little piece of metal melted into their safety glasses, or until something bounces off their steel toe or their hard hat, or they get exposed to something that was loud or dangerous, and then they're very thankful that they had some personal protective equipment in place, because the results of not having it would have been really bad. And it's the same with our marriages. We need to have personal protective equipment in place for our marriages. So today, for 5 Things Friday, I'm going to show you or give you 5 things that are personal protective equipment for your marriage. Number 1 thing that you can do, or not do actually, don't flirt. Just don't do it. Why? Because some people say that it's harmless. Well, yeah, flirting is harmless like a hand grenade. Perfectly safe until it's not. And the problem is, if that pin gets pulled, you get trouble. And you're not the only one that can pull the pin. When you're flirting, there's 2 people involved, and it can go from 0 to explosive way too fast. So just don't do it. I mean, technically, you could leave a hand grenade on your coffee table, and as long as nobody pulls the pin, it's fine, it's safe. Why don't we do that? Well, because it's potentially devastating. You would never do that. So why would you flirt? It's not harmless. Or it is harmless until it's not. And the potential is just not worth the risk. So that's number 1. Number 2, these things, phones, screens, all of those things, they suck time away from you. A lot of time. And it could be time you're spending with your spouse. Or even maybe while you're spending time with your spouse, if you're actually doing this while you're talking to your spouse, or she's talking but you're not listening because you're doing this, personal protective equipment, put this away. This is not helping your marriage. It's not. It just isn't. Sucks time. And on top of that, number 3, when I was growing up, pornography was always around. You could always find it if you went and looked for it. With these things, you don't even have to be looking for it to find it. That's another reason to kind of limit your use. Be really careful about what comes up. Make sure you protect it. Don't go to sites that you shouldn't be. It's just not worth the trouble. The thing about pornography is it takes your intimacy away. It destroys intimacy. And it promises something that it can never deliver. And basically, you can either have pornography or you can have intimacy, but you can't have both at the same time. They're mutually exclusive. And you need to make that decision every day. Like I said, it used to be just don't go looking for it and you'll be fine. Now you're confronted with it almost daily, and you've got to get rid of it. You've got to actually go in and say, no, I don't want to see this kind of post on Facebook, Instagram, X, all of those other accounts. It just pops up if you're not careful. And you've got to actually, it depends on what app you're in, you've got to physically tell it, I'm not interested, get rid of this, clean it up, because otherwise it'll just grow back. You don't want it. You'd rather have intimacy. It's much better. Speaking of which, number 4, addictions. I can't think of any addiction that's good for your marriage. There aren't any. If you have an addiction to something, it is hurting your marriage. You should get rid of it. There are programs, there's help, whatever it is. It's drugs, alcohol, sexual addiction. Even the sexual addiction is not good for your marriage, because that's, even if you're limiting it to your relationship, it's still not helpful, because you're basically using somebody as opposed to being intimate with somebody. There's a huge difference. Anyway, whatever the addiction is, get rid of it. It's not helping your marriage. And number 5, when we are wearing our personal protective equipment, that doesn't make us supermen. They always tell us in all of our safety classes that the best safety equipment is right here. Think about the situation, look at the situation, count the cost. And we're always given the ability, we can stop any job if we think something's unsafe. How? Because we're aware. You need to be aware of what's going on around you. If somebody's flirting with you, it used to be that this wedding band was protection. People didn't try to hit on you, basically, if they knew you were married. That's not so much anymore. It's kind of like traffic cones. They're great, but I'd rather have a Jersey barrier. I've had people walk right past safety cones into a work zone and say, hey, what you doing? It's like, excuse me, we got people overhead. There's stuff going on. Can you just get out of our area? You might have to tell somebody that if they're getting too close. It's all perception. Count the cost before you do anything. Before you spend way too much time or money on something that doesn't really help your marriage, think about it. Count the cost. Is this really going to help my marriage? Probably not. Then don't do it. Is it going to feel good to go out partying with some friends and come back really late and drunk? Maybe for a few minutes while you're doing it, but then you got to pay the cost afterwards. It's not worth it. Count the cost. So there's 5 things. 5 things Friday. Don't flirt. It's like playing with a hand grenade. Limit the use of your phone, and especially when you're with your spouse. Pay attention to her, not your phone. Make sure you get anything that's pornographic, just get away from it. It's not worth the trouble. It will ruin your intimacy. It just doesn't work. There's nothing good about it. Same with all the other addictions, number 4. If you have a problem with drugs or alcohol or pot or anything, deal with it. Get rid of it. It's not helping your marriage. And then number 5, always count the cost and value your marriage. When you value your marriage and your family, it's the greatest thing in the world. And you miss out if you let something in to destroy it. That's our 5 things for today. Have a great weekend. Count the cost. We'll see you next time. Thanks for listening.